Now let's hop on into the United States. Big update from the US, ladies and gentlemen. Thousands of people had gathered for an evening of food, music, celebration. Families were enjoying their weekend in the US. In fact, children were walking between the food stalls that were there. Tourists were taking photographs near one of Seattle's most famous landmarks. Then, within seconds, everything changed. What should have been a festival of joy here, it suddenly became a scene of fear, chaos, and gunfire. A deadly shooting has shaken the city of Seattle in the United States. The incident took place during the famous Bite of Seattle festival. By the way, that's one of city's biggest annual events. According to the police, 3 people could not survive after being injured, and 4 others are seriously injured after the whole scene erupted near the Seattle Center, just a short distance from the iconic Space Needle. Now, at first shot rang out, panic spread across the crowded venue. People who were enjoying food and live performances, they suddenly started running in different directions. Parents grabbed their children, vendors abandoned their stall. Some people hid behind food trucks while others desperately searched for safety as confusion took over the festival crowd. In fact, you know what? Videos circulating on social media show frightening crowd running as the shots echoed through the area, capturing the terrifying moment that unfolded in just a matter of seconds. After that, police responded quickly and confirmed that one suspect had been taken into custody. And yes, in the meantime, investigators also recovered 2 firearms from the scene. However, officials believe more than one person have been involved in the exchange of gunfire, and they say another suspect remains at large. The investigation, it is still ongoing as authorities work to understand exactly what led to this whole incident. But you know what? Incidents like these once again bring America's violence debate back into the spotlight. Every time this type of event, this type of massacre takes place, the same difficult question returns. How do such attacks continue to happen in a crowded public spaces? Are existing security measures enough? And what more can be done to prevent ordinary families from being victims while attending a community event that basic? Now, for the local resident, it is not just about another headline. It is another painful reminder that even places meant for celebration, it can suddenly become crime scenes. Families who left home expecting an evening of music and food instead witnessed one of the most terrifying moments of their lives. And yes, as investigators, they continue their work, and entire community is once again searching for the difficult answers. Well, the entire West Asia has witnessed many surprises over the past few years. Countries that were once bitter rivals are now sitting across the negotiating table. Old enemies are reopening diplomatic ties, and today, another unexpected development has caught the entire world's attention. This time, the surprise has come from Iran. That's right, Iran has openly supported Saudi Arabia's right to develop very peaceful nuclear technology. Well, just a few years ago, if you remember, such a statement, it would have maybe had been impossible. Iran and Saudi Arabia spent years competing with each other. They backed rival groups in different conflicts and often found themselves on opposite sides of regional politics. But today, well, they may be appearing to be one. Why is this announcement important? Because it comes at a time when the US is trying to negotiate a civil nuclear agreement with Saudi Arabia. President Trump, he wants Riyadh to move closer to Washington under a deal that could include peaceful nuclear cooperation. But one important condition is that US wants Saudi Arabia to normalize relationship with Israel by joining the Abraham Accord. And that is where the story becomes even more interesting. Iran is now saying that every country has the right to use nuclear technology for peaceful purposes. At the same time, Tehran has accused Israel of opposing nuclear cooperation across the region. Now, the statement has added fresh diplomatic pressure on Israel, which has consistently opposed the spread of nuclear technology in West Asia because of its own security. And yes, in the meantime, Saudi Arabia has made its own position very clear here. Riyadh continues to say that any normalization with Israel depends on meaningful progress towards the creation of Palestinian state. In the meantime, Israeli Prime Minister Mr. Netanyahu, he has repeatedly rejected that idea, making negotiations even more complicated now. So today, we are witnessing something remarkable. Iran is supporting Saudi Arabia's nuclear ambitions. America is trying to bring Saudi Arabia and Israel closer together. Israel remains cautious, and the Palestinian issue that continues to stand at the center of every major diplomatic conversation. This is no longer just about nuclear technology. It is about shifting alliances, changing power equations, and a West Asia that is once again being reshaped before our eyes here. The decision taken today could influence regional security for years to come.